Uzbekistan planning to cancel Islam? Wait, what? What's happening in Uzbekistan? Let's find out.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
Fed
barakatuh.
up with the lifestyles of the West. Do you want to raise your children in a Muslim country to impart Islamic traditions and cultures to them? Are you planning to move any Islamic countries to practice Islam freely and give your child the best Islamic education? Then maybe this video is going to make you reconsider your decision and make you worry about the state of Islamic nations. Uzbekistan, a Muslim majority nation, has drafted a resolution to penalize parents with hefty fines who seek Islamic education for their children in non-registered institutions. If the proposed rule is passed, parents will face penalties and possibly even jail time.
Wait a second. Our country makes education illegal? They want everyone to be stupid over there? Astaghfirullah. Wait, what? Why would you ban education for children in something? Okay, that is really abstract.
Further restricting an already strict Islamic education system, Uzbekistan, a country with a 92% Muslim population, has just 15 institutes dedicated to Islamic
Only
education,
15?
which only those children who have passed their higher secondary education can access.
They have between 88 to 94% of we are talking about here 37 million, okay? That's not the highest number of population. Like there's some other countries, like look at China, for example, how many they have in population, right? 37 is not like the highest, but it's still pretty high, right? And like 88 to 94% are following Islam here, right? And there are only 15 institutions for Islamic education for 37 million people. That's like little. Huh? But they have 2,125 mosques. That's actually good, over 2,000 masjids. This is a good number, alhamdulillah. But only 15 institutes, so they don't want them to know their religion properly. That's actually dangerous. Like, if you don't study Islam, you're more likely to actually end up in a very dangerous group or follow someone like ISIS or something than if you actually have a proper education in Islam. I don't know what they're trying to do with that they don't get Islamic education. But if you look at like sects, certain groups in Islam that are even dangerous or calling for violence and that don't follow the Quran and Sunnah properly because we are against violence, then this is actually counterproductive, because this will actually cause people to end up in bad groups because they don't get proper education. Like, you need proper education to know what's right and wrong. It's actually... I'm not surprised if the violence rate or split groups actually increase in this area because of this. And if there are going to be some sort of activities with like certain groups like ISIS. Because this is the issue here. Because they don't educate their people properly. And you have like those emotional, like emotion-driven teenagers that don't know much about Islam, and they just follow their emotions and they follow the wrong path, and they will end up slaughtering your own people in the future. This is not good.
Which means that the government is not interested in constructing more legal Islamic institutions.
Yeah.
And thus, the citizens of Uzbekistan are...
Then just put the government in charge of checking those institutes that they teach good stuff. Like FBI style, right? Like you just go undercover there and you look like, what are they teaching there? And then you actually like make sure that they learn good stuff. I mean, it's not that difficult.
Are caught in a dilemma. Either not provide any Islamic education,
yes,
or provide it through
legally.
Unregistered institutions. Some parents are forced to send their children to unofficial religious schools known as hujras. But with this draft resolution in sight, parents cannot do that too. At present, people who teach religion without a permit risk penalties or a maximum of 15 days in jail.
That's nothing,
the
15
new
days
draft
only.
law severely limits the pursuit of Islamic education and worsens the challenges encountered by several families. The report states that, according to the draft resolution, the law's adoption will serve to protect children's rights in education, their ability to develop into harmonious adults, and their ability to avoid becoming victims of the ideas of religious extremism, separatism, and violence. What does it mean? Imparting Islamic education to children will make them extremists and more violent. If this statement of draft resolution were included by a country like France or Sweden, then one would still be able to digest it as these are Islamophobic countries and their governments
Yeah.
have no knowledge about Islam.
True.
But unfortunately, now a Muslim nation whose
Like, imagine you're the president of a country, you're Muslim, and you know because of your actions you're going to Jahannam. Like, how is this president sleeping at night? Like, imagine you're doing something that you know leads you to Jahannam, and you're going to bed at night, and you know you're already in hellfire if you're a Muslim. Wow. Like, imagine that. Like, does this guy not know the consequence? Like, does the leader of the country, the president, have any Islamic education himself? Does he not know that doing this is like major haram? Because you're barring your own ummah, like your own people, from getting knowledge. That's a big sin, actually.
governing body is composed of Muslims themselves is giving such blasphemous statements and passing such resolutions so as to cause much difficulty to those who want to impart Islamic values and traditions onto their children. Recently, another Muslim nation, Tajikistan, was in the news for banning hijab for women and prohibiting men from growing beards. Countries like Egypt, Jordan, and the UAE have no prohibition on alcohol stores.
You know what's like funny about the it's actually really funny, guys. Like they banned the beards. Wait, where was this? This was Tajikistan, right? They banned the beards there. Like, imagine you are like a member of the Hells Angels or some sort of biker gang, right, in Europe, and you're actually going on vacation to Tajikistan on your Harley Davidson. You're going over the border with your Harley Davidson, and then the security guard at the border is already waiting with the tools to trim or shave your beard, right? And just gotta cut it off. You go on vacation there, and you come back without a beard. Astaghfirullah. This is actually, like, what are they doing to tourists with a beard that are not Muslim? Are they also cutting the beards there of them? Are they going to like biker gangs and just shave their beards off, or what? What about like those heavy metal fans and stuff, or rock bands? Like, the beard itself is not a religious symbol. How can you actually, like, are they trying to ban religious symbolisms or something by banning the hijab and the beard? Like, the beard is for everyone. Like, you don't just have this in one religion. Some people wear a beard have a beard for fashion. Some are maybe of another religion that says you should have a beard, right? They're like Orthodox Christians that grow a beard. Others just find this beautiful. It's like a personal choice. Maybe others are in the Hells Angels, some sort of biker gang. Like, there are multiple reasons why people have beards. I think, you know what? I'm sorry to say this, but I think a lot of countries are run by people with a very low IQ. I don't know what happened to good rulers. Like, in the past, there were better country rulers, and now we have people ruling countries with very, very low IQ, where I feel like I'm probably like 10 times smarter than this individual. Maybe I should go for president somewhere, because I see a lot of people that really seem not smart at all running countries. And there are certain issues that certain countries have for years, and there's actually a solution for that, like an easy solution, but they don't do it and stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of people behind desks have very low IQ.
Countries like Egypt, Jordan, and the UAE
I would make
have
a
no
better
prohibition on
rule.
alcohol stores, and homosexuality is legalized in countries like Bahrain, Turkey, Kazakhstan, and Lebanon. What kind of world we are living in now? The West was always targeting Islam, and the so-called Islamic nations are also attacking Islamic values and adopting the lifestyles of the West. If this is the state of the world, then where would a true believer go to save his faith? Where should he hide himself and his family members so that they may be saved from all the filth all around? Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "There shall come upon a people a time in which the one who is patient upon his religion will be like the one holding on to a burning ember."
Yeah, I know this.
Maybe
hadith.
these are the very same times our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was warning about.
For sure.
And if this
Allahu
hadith was
Akbar.
truly about the times in which we are living right now, it will not be too late when the final signs of the coming of the hour will arrive too.
Yeah.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from
Ameen.
the trials of this world. Ameen.
I mean, yo, I feel like some rules that certain countries make are actually very much in contradiction to their original goal, right? Like, didn't they say that they want to stop extremism, and that's why they are banning Islamic education, but yet they don't have any Islamic schools funded or promoted or actually opened by the government where they can actually check what is being taught there, right? Like, let's say you want to have like a very high security in your country and you don't want to open the door for groups like ISIS or some other group, then you as a government, you have like a lot of options, right? There are like people, it's like funny about this, and I see this here in Germany. This happens a lot here in Germany when people want to open mosques. There are private people, I'm not talking about government people, but private people, they want to get a stamp, to get a legalized, even open source, where like even the government can see what they teach and stuff, right? Sort of institute or mosque or school that actually works with the government, but is not funded by the government, but by private individuals, right? And they just want to get integrated into the government with their institute, and they bring their own money, yet the government does not allow it. Like, all you need to do is you need to give a stamp and say, yes, you can open this, but we have this and this rules, and you must submit your books and whatever you teach so we can look over it. And then they look over it and they see, oh, there's nothing harmful, and then they give the final stamp and it's opened. Like, this is how you legalize certain schools or institutes. You set the rules of what they can teach, what sources they can use, right? Like, you can make like a whole list of what is permitted, what not. And if they are in line with the rules, you give them the final stamp and you approve it, and they use their own money to build this sort of school or institute or masjid, right? But what the government often does, I see this a lot in several countries, we have this here in Germany too, they don't even bother to look what they teach or set the rules, what they can teach. They just immediately not give the stamp. Like, just make strict regulations, but make it possible, if they follow the regulations, that they get the stamp. Then you have like many schools of Islamic education, and in Western countries, mosques, because you can actually say, oh, only this and this book is allowed, only this and this source is allowed. Like, just make rules. I know it's going to be annoying for some people that want to open a school because they have less freedom, but it's better to have such school than to have no school, right? And they have no schools. They have like only 15 schools. Like, what the heck? Subhanallah. That's insane, guys. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about this. My opinion is the government should just cooperate more with like private people. Like those that have like money, that are like millionaires, billionaires, and just set the rules and check what they want to teach there. Make sure it's in line with the law. It's nothing calling for violence. Check the sources and where they take knowledge from. And then just give the stamp and approve it. And once a year you check on this or something, right? Like once a year you send some government official, like someone that works for you, and they just speak with the school every 1 or 2 years and just make sure it's in line with the law. That's the easiest solution for this. And then you can even protect your citizens from extremism, because you teach the right way of the religion and not the wrong way of like those sects and smaller groups. But this is the problem here, right? Like the government doesn't want to cooperate with the Muslim Ummah. They actually want to go against them, and then those groups that call for violence, they will grab individuals that are frustrated, and they're gonna make them into anti-government people. And this is the real threat, because then you cause more issues than solutions, right? But yeah, this is like, those are hard times for sure, like worldwide. Like even Christians what I've heard from some Christians, even they're facing now harder times by certain governments in certain countries, where their governments have become satanic, right? And it's sad. It's very sad. Like I really hope for better times, but I'm not very optimistic about it. Let's just say that, right? But yeah, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. If you guys found this video informative, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time, inshallah.